take an opportunity for a teaching moment here, but we're going to have to go back to this. We're going to have to go back to this. Why are you talking? What's very funny, Mario? All right, we need to go back to this. Okay. Because this is a very teachable moment about nuance that I would like to point out that I think is very important, okay? So I can simultaneously think that that opinion that toxic water causes transgenderism is absurd, and I can simultaneously support the fact that RFK Jr. might be the best person to fight for clean water, given that he has a pretty good, solid history of environmental law and activism. So here's my thought. If I meet someone who's willing to fight for clean water because they think that it's causing transgenderism, I don't really care that they think that. They're fighting for clean water. They can think it's whatever they want. They're still fighting for clean water. You see, that's nuance. So I felt the need to point out that comment.
And I mean, I think also there was a study that did show that water, I don't know where, but chemicals in the water did change the sex of the frogs, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now,
so I mean,
now granted, it was astracene, I think. I can't remember the name of the chemical, but look, I look at it this way. It's like the chemical Roundup, which has absolutely no business whatsoever being sprayed on our, on our crops. But of course, the reason we do it is because big agriculture wants to make as much money as humanly possible. There is no cap in terms of what they can and cannot get. And also the fact we live in a country today where people think that they can just get, fresh strawberries out of season if they want it. And so, there is these exceptions that need to be made for the on-demand community. That's why I always recommend, if you have a local farmer's market, always buy your, fruits and vegetables there. It's your best bet. Unfortunately, we are living in a country, and, you want to say we're being poisoned to some degree. I don't think it's that far-fetched to suggest that there are things that are deliberately done to us that make us more unhealthy. It's not just the fast food. It's a lot of things. It's this, instant oatmeal type of, food consumption economy that we live in today. I mean, I do everything in my capacity to do food prep, to eat healthy and cook and things like that, but it's still hard. It still takes time, and very few people have that luxury. So it's easy to see why they would be overly concerned, and everyone's like, oh, you're just you're paranoid, you're a conspiracy theorist and all that stuff. And then it does get taken to the extreme with people like Alex Jones, who prey on those vulnerable minds that are, overly concerned about every single thing left and right. But one thing that I did want to touch on, you've been making videos for a very long time, and I think we would be amiss to not bring up the fact that you have done a lot of videos basically highlighting the way that corporate media is able to sort of propagandize, mass manipulate a lot of people, basically taking one message that comes from one side, the other message goes to the other side, and all the while it's like converting people into this drone-like mentality. Where did you decide to start doing that? And do you find that there were certain videos that really stood out above the rest? And what type of feedback have you been getting from people that have observed them over the past few years?
Thanks for that question. And also, how's my audio now? Is it better?
Solid.
Is it better? All right. So that's better, right? Okay. So thanks for the comment. Whoever said that in the comments, I wouldn't have known otherwise. So appreciate it. Okay. Well, I think what I try to do in some of my videos, I do all kinds of stuff, but one of the successful formulas lately is, just showing clips of how the media really propagandizes people. And they do that with repetition, and they do it with villainization. And I think one good example is the one I did before the Hotez, which I called Nobody is Safe. And it just shows how the media, they literally, at the beginning of the coronavirus pandemic, they literally had the message that nobody is safe until everybody is safe. That is an extreme message, especially when, over 99% of the population was going to survive it just fine. And you asked, the reason I do it the way I do, and I just think showing is much more effective than telling, if you can show. And the medium of video and film, like you can do that. You can just show. If you're just writing, obviously you can't do that. So anyway, that's maybe I missed part of the question. Did I?
No.
Okay. Well, I'll say, I'm happy to answer any other questions. And also, you did say like you don't agree with everything I do, and I'm like, hey, like maybe this is a good opportunity to do that whole nuanced debate thing.
Well, I don't know that, and we always have to be very clear. And I say it sometimes on the show that Peter Hager does not speak for me. Like the opinions of him are not me. Like we're not the same person, even though he is me on social media. So guys, when he does put out stuff, that is him. But yeah, we don't agree on everything. He and I are pretty consistent on most big issues. And I really don't know. What I did see of you is that you did a nice piece about the Bernie blackout. And that I really appreciate a lot. And that was back in 20. Yep. So I'm not seeing too much controversy there. So I don't know, like, what are your issues, Matt? Who do you hate that I have to, defend against?
I really try not to hate. I try not to hate.
Good. See, that's along.
That's what gets us into the trap where we're because once you hate somebody, then you become intolerant, so intolerant that you will not listen to them, so intolerant that you think they don't even deserve a voice, which is, and the Democratic Party is becoming very intolerant like that, even more extremely intolerant. And I say this as a Democrat. I was born in DC, so naturally I became a Democrat. I was raised Democrat, and I don't identify as any political party. I identify as independent because I want to look at things like issue by issue. Because I feel like if you identify with one side automatically, it almost sets you up to be, to favor one argument or the other a little bit, at least, maybe subconsciously. Anyway, that's just my thought.
I actually lately have gotten to where people will say, well, are you a socialist? Are you a communist? And I'm not an ist. I have no ism. And I am very strong about that. I have no ism and I don't fit into a box. And the only reason that I'm registered as a Democrat is that in Broward County, it's the only way to have any effectiveness and participate in electoral politics. It is what it is. But it is not because of ideology. Okay, it's that I'm more likely to find people in the Democratic Party that agree with me on more things than I would in the Republican Party. But I'm not an ist, and I'm not I think that we're so into labeling and we're so into putting people in boxes and on teams, and it is such a part of the problem. And I have this, we keep talking about having multiple parties. I like this idea of having no parties. I want somebody to explain to me why we need parties at all, because to me, there are plenty of issues in which when we can either have ballot initiatives or some sort of democratic vote on issues, we can all just get along fine, actually. We really do. I mean, we passed a $15 minimum wage in Florida, the same election that Donald Trump won Florida. So my point is, when we vote on issues, we can actually be somewhat effective. And the parties ruin everything. Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.